Please go ahead.
Okay.
Does it give you opportunity? Yes, you can share now. Yes,
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So like I said, today we have actually sent this maybe 2 days ago, so that whoever that is interested in doing the installation on their PC, on their laptop, they can actually do so. So because we need this, going further in this session. Today we're going to talk about how to install the Oracle database. So this one is just going to be a simple one. It's not going to be an enterprise one. So the one that we're actually talking about is the Oracle 11G Express Edition. So if we can actually see Oracle, excuse me. So the Oracle 11G Express, it is a lightweight, so it is actually free. So you can actually install it on your 32-bit. You can install it on your 60 or your 64 window, or if you know Linux, you can actually do so as well. So okay, then I move to the next slide. So these are the system requirements. Okay, these are the system requirements for the installation of Oracle 11G Express. So like I said, you don't need any license to install. We do have other Oracle software, like maybe standard and enterprise. So most of the bank or the organization, they use the standard. I mean, they use what's it called, enterprise. But when it comes to the enterprise, you are bound to pay license, and you are bound to pay license to Oracle Corporation. So with this one, it's very free for anyone. Anyone can use it, and it's okay. So now this is the location. This is the software. I don't know if I'm moving too fast. So this is the location for the software. So if you want to download, if you want to install it on your PC, this is the this is the location where you go to on your PC. I've actually done that for myself. So this is the location. It's part of what I sent. So if you look at it, if you punch in this in your URL, okay, it's going to display this page. I don't know if you are very close to your PC, you can actually try that and see. For those who've actually, so you can actually put that link on your PC, on your URL. Okay, so you should be able to see this. So now if you see this, so this one is for, if you look at it, the first one, quite unfortunate that this screen is actually blocking. So one is 64-bit, the other one is 32-bit, and the last one, if you see it, there are three. The last one is for Linux, for someone who know Linux software. So for me, I have 64 bits on my PC, and that is why you can see it is saying download, Oracle ES mean Oracle Express, 11G, release 2. So 64 bits. So if you check, you need to check your PC. Check your PC. You need to go to your computer and right click and check, the bits that you have on your PC. If it is 64, if it is 32, then you need to download. If you have 32 bits, you cannot download 64 because it might not work. Some of the functionality might not work because appropriately, because it's actually working. The version of the Oracle software determine which the operating system it does work with. So you need to be very careful of that. So you need to check which one is appropriate for your PC. Then you can actually click download. So if you click the download, it is going to take you to another page. It will take you to this page. If you have an existing account with Oracle, it is much easier. So you just punch in your punch in your username and your password, then you can click login. So, but in case, if you are a newcomer, you do not have an existing Oracle account, so you can actually click on create account. So if you do not have, you can click create. You can click create account. So if you do that, it's going to take you to this page. So it takes you to this page. So what you can do, if you have your Gmail account, if you have your Yahoo account, you have any of your account, you can actually put in there, and you fill in your information and just click create. So it creates it for you, and it will send email. It sends emails to your inbox. So it sends it to you for authentication. So once that is done, then you will be able to download the software. Okay. So then I move to, this is what I've actually done, So I downloaded it. So it will come, it's going to come, it is going to compress it. Once you download, it is going to come in the other one below. So you need to extract it. So once you extract it, it's going to come up in this other one you can see at the top. So it will come on, compressed, which is zipped. So then you need to extract it. So once it's extracted, it is something that you see below. Then you can see, so it will create this folder for you, which is Oracle ES 11G Release 2, which is on Windows 64. So the first folder that you see there is the disk one. So if we click on the disk one, this is what you see. So you see the setup. So from the setup, you can actually click on the setup, then the installation begin. So this is the starting. It shows to you this way. Either you download 64 or you download 32, you're going to see this page. So you're going to see it in any case, and it will tell you to move further. So I don't know if you have your PC. If you have your PC very close to you, I don't know if you have actually tried to download it and to install it before. If you have any difficulties, you can put it in the chat. Then I will attend to any of the questions that you probably have, or any of the difficulties. So okay, so you see this, then you click next. So with all this, it's then you can see the agreements, the license agreements. You can go through it, you can read it, then having done that, then you can click accept. So you click accept, you click next, it take you to another page. So it's telling you that I want to install on your PC. So this is what I want to install. I want to install Oracle Database 11G Express Edition, and I'm going to need so much space. This is so much space that I'm going to need from your system. So now, and it's telling you the destination where it's going to install it into, where it's going to put this, it's going to put those files. That is, so the installation files. So you see now it says destination folder. So that's the destination folder is on C drive. I'm going to show you from my PC. So you can, otherwise you might decide to choose another location. If you think that maybe you don't have enough space on your C, maybe you can actually choose your maybe D drive, where you have sufficient or enough space. Then you will be able to install it. Then you can click next. It take you to another So when you get to this place, okay, the question is, it is telling you, it says specify database password. Enter and confirm the password for the database. This password we use for both the sys and the system database account. You see these two users, they are the super users when it comes to database. They are the admin. So sys is the most senior and system is below the 6. So with 6, you can do a lot of things. And with the system, you can do a lot of things as well. So those are the two super user or admin when it comes to creating a database. So you need to create an account, a password for it. And please, when you create a password, please make sure that you remember them. Please write them somewhere. So for the purpose of future, because we're going to use this to create schema. When we get there, I will let you know. But once you put in a password, please make sure that it is written somewhere. Then you can click next. So you can see, this is what it's doing. It's telling you the destination. The destination is on, remember I chose C drive. So it's gonna load. It's telling me my Oracle home. So where I'm gonna interpret in a very simple English. It's saying the Oracle home, meaning Oracle base, where I'm gonna put the Oracle into. You see, and it's saying this is where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it here. You see, from all these products, into this service. So I'm gonna put it in this location. You see. Then if you look at it further, it says, sorry, I'm so sorry. So if you look further, it says Oracle base. It says Oracle base. The Oracle base is the one that I chose earlier, as you see. And again, if you go below that, you see Oracle database listener. You see, let me say this too. Let me say this for the purpose of this training or session. You see, listener, it's like a form of our ears. B is our ear. The Oracle database use that to listen to incoming calls. Let's say, for instance, you were trying to do something and you are trying to send a signal to Oracle database. So it's going to come through this listener. So it listens to incoming call through this port. And that is why it's very important. So we cannot get it wrong. So this is the port. So this is the Oracle service for Microsoft transaction. This is because we're loading onto the Windows, which is the Microsoft. So it is just telling you. So the HPP, which is this other one, it is the one that you use on the web. So we don't need to bother ourselves with that. So then you click install. I'm just taking my time to explain all this to you, because when you are doing your installation, pay attention to all these things that it's saying. Because most of the time, when you do your installation, a lot of people do not know. It's fine. It creates a logs after the installation, but it is actually good when you pay attention, when you really know. I always tell people, when you click a button, make sure you pay attention to what you're seeing on the system. So it's a kind of training or a learning curve as well. So you'll be able to know what this thing does. Okay, at every point in time, you'll be able to know, okay, what it's doing. You'll be able to explain in a simple English. So you understand. So you click next, it takes you to another page. So it's saying this. So it is about, I'm so sorry, my son is around. So it is about to start installing. So it is installing, it has started up the things, and it's saying it is complete. So so you click save. You click finish. So once you click finish, then it take you to this. Okay, so once you finish, that shows your installation, your Oracle installation is completed. See, your Oracle installation is actually completed. So that is where we're going to have our schema to be able to practicalize some things that we're going to learn in the course of this training. Because, like I said, I want to make it simple and I want to make it practical. I don't want to be like other DBAs. They speak too much big grammars and they do not understand the basics. And this is why I'm saying learning basics from anything that you do in IT, it helps a lot. You know the basics, you will be able to solve complex issues in future. So with that, if you've completed that, that shows one problem is actually down. So if you have any problem, or if you are facing any issue when it comes to the installation, please make sure you put it on the chat. So I will respond to you after this training. So okay.
Mr. Babatunde, thank you so much.
Yes, okay.
Before you move on, please, can we go over the installation again? Okay. So that we know
I'll go back.
That.
Okay. I'll go back
so
again. Let me okay. Okay. Like I said, from here, we have different. I want you to understand something. Oracle Corporation is a vendor. Oracle is just like Microsoft. We have like Microsoft. Oracle is just like IBM, but primarily Oracle is based on the database and applications. Okay, so we still have other databases that are doing well, but Oracle, as when it comes to better security, Oracle is the best. Oracle is the best. So now, for the purpose, they've made it in a such a way that it is actually good for them to create, to allow other people to have access to Oracle database, for maybe for the purpose of training, for purpose of maybe schools and university, they will be able to, because you cannot be, if you have to get a enterprise one, you have to pay huge money. And I'm involved when it comes to the license. Sometimes we pay like 20, you pay like maybe 5 million rand, you pay like maybe 6 million rand. So it's a lot of money that you have to pay. So, but Express is actually free. It is free, it is light, meaning it doesn't take much of your space. So with the purpose of this training, we're going to use Express. And Express work with our OS, which is operating system. Oracle software is actually sitting on top of your OS, which is operating system. So whichever one you have, whether it is Windows, whether it is Linux, so you can actually work. Oracle Express can actually be installed on any of those. So again, when it is Windows, if you have to install on Windows, you need to take two things into the account. One, you need to check how many bits do I have on my system. Is it 32 bits? Is it 64 bits? So now with this one, so if we check, I will show you. You see this network protocol, I'm going to show you. I'll show you from my PC. So you see the system requirement, at least this is the minimum requirement that you have to have. You see, so the disk space, which is say 1.5 gig minimum, meaning depending on the kind of requirements that depending on what you want to do. Maybe you want to create a big database. You want to import your data into your database. Maybe for instance, you are working in a place. Remember, when you are working in a place, maybe they might not give you access to they might not give you the access to work anywhere with their data. You can actually clone. Most of the DBA, they clone data and they transform it and they load it into their own private into their private or local database, so that maybe probably for the purpose of analysis or to do things. So with this, you need to have 1.5 gig, at least 1.5 gig minimum on the drive that you want to. You can check your drive. If you right click on that drive, you'll be able to know how many space that you have. You see the used one and you see the available one that you can use. So you can actually do all this. The RAM, I know most of the PC, at least I know that they fulfill this requirement of 256 MB, you know. So you don't need to bother yourself about the RAM. So this is the minimum. So the location, you know, the location where you can find the software, because you know Oracle has got they have the URL where you can actually download most of the software. So the location is actually this. So I put the link. If you go through the link, I want us to go through the link and just try, put it on your, if your Google, you can put it on your Google, you can put it, I mean, on your Edge, you can put it on your Chrome, you can put it on any of the browser that you're using. So it should be able to show you something like this. I mean, you should be able to put it on the URL. So if you do that, you're going to see this page. You will see this page, okay? So if you see this page, remember I said something that you need to check the bit that you have on your system. If it is 32, then you need to download the one for the 32. If it is 64, you need to download the one that's for 64. If you're a Linux group, then you can actually download the Linux one, which is on your 64-bit. So for me, I have 64 Enterprise Microsoft on my PC. So I downloaded the first one. Okay. So if you click download, you see, let me go. If you click download, if you see, it says you must accept. You see, you must accept Oracle license agreement to download this software. So you need to click this, which says I review. So it is just in a way for you, giving approval to say, okay, yes, I approve, I review and accept Oracle license agreement. Like I said to you before, I said any screen that you see, when you click a button, if you see any screen, please endeavor to read it. A lot of people do not do that. They just see screen and you see what's it called, the tick, and they just go. No, it is actually good for you to read so that you'll be able to know what on each of the steps that you actually taking, you'll be able to know what is actually doing. So going further, it says you will be redirected to the login screen in order to download the file. You see, it's telling me the file that I'm about to download. Please check that. And again, you need to check this one. You can see Win, it said Win 64. So because I'm having 64, I actually chose the 64-bit. So if maybe for instance, maybe Yinka is having 32-bit, or any other person is having 32-bit, or Mr. Okay is having 32-bit. So it's going to show that win32.zip. So if you see the arrow down, it's telling you that I'm about to download. You see the arrow down, it's telling I'm going to download into somewhere. So if you click that, that is when it's going to take you to this page to say, please log in. Because you need to authenticate you. You need to keep your record. Because anyone that log on to Oracle database, they actually keep their record. So if you have an already existing account, you can actually do so. You put in your account, your username and your password, and you click your sign in. Then it's logging in, and you will see it downloading on your system. But for instance, if you do not have, an account, then you can click create a new account. And I always tell newcomer to create a new account. Why? Because it's going to be more useful for you. Because we're still going to download maybe SQL developer. We're going to download any other third party, and it will be much easier for you. So you can click create account. So when you do that, it takes you to this page. So it says create your Oracle account. Remember, it says your email address. So put in your email, regardless of your email, whether it is Gmail, whether it is Yahoo, whether it is anything, just put it there. Put your email. You know why he's saying that? He want to use this to be able to send emails to you for authentication, or in the case if you could not remember your password, then once you say you cannot remember your password, it send emails to you, to your inbox, so that for you to be to ensure that I'm sending email to the right person. So for a proper authentication, for proper identification, that is why you need to put your email. So now you put in your email, then you put in your password. So you type your password, your location where you are, and you fill in all this form. Then once you're done, it is not necessary for you to send. I mean, this other want to send me marketing. So if you say sending marketing, they will be sending a lot of information to you. So which might actually you might not be comfortable with. So do not do that. If you know you're not, then click create. So it does create a new account for you. So once your account is created, it will send an email for authentication. It will send it to your account for you to be able to authenticate yourself. Once you are authenticated, then that should be fine. Then it will proceed for you to be able to download your software. So now, once that is done, you can see, sometimes if you look at it, you remember if you have a window operating system, once you download, you need to go and check your download folder. It automatically download into Oracle your folder. So once you download it goes into download folder, then you can move it to wherever you want to move it to. But I downloaded into this location. So once you downloaded, you see these two. You see, if you can see this, what's it called, this page, you see the first one and the second one. I mean the top one. So if you see the one below, you see that one, it is zipped. It's called compressed. So once you download, it compress it. It compress it. Then once you compress, which is zipped, the zipped version, then you can extract it. Once it's extracted, then it creates another one. It creates a folder for you, which is at the top. It creates the top one. So the extraction created this one. So then if you click on the extracted folder, you're going to see disk 1. You're going to see disk 1. That is another folder that you're going to see inside the Oracle Oracle Express 11G release 2. The 2 there means release 2. They have release 1, they have release 2, they have whatever release. But this one, the particular one we're dealing with, is release 2. So now you will see, this is what you see inside the disk 1. Okay, you see the response, you see the upgrade, the response, you see the upgrade, and you see the setup. Okay. In case if you have, some people, they do have 11 Oracle Express 11 release 1, and they want to upgrade it to release 2. That is when they click upgrade, and there will be an installation, a DBCA file there. Then you can actually upgrade it. But we do not need that. So for the purpose of this session, you need to click on setup. So if you look at it, it says setup here. It says the date modifier, and it says application. If you look at the type, under the type, it says application, and it says the number as well. I mean the size. It will tell you the size. So you click on it, and you click installation, meaning it, So sorry. Okay. So okay. So once that is done, then it prompts you to this page. So it says, this is install wizard. So it's going to do this for you. So then all you need to do is just to click next. You click next. So it takes you to this license agreement, okay, to say you need to check the regulation and all that with the government government the legislation and all that, so you go through, and I like people to go through it as well, so you'll be able to know what this thing says, so I'm not party to the fact that you just click accept without you knowing what you are actually accepting or what you're about to do. So I always advise people to go through it. So once you go through it, I mean, it might be, no knowledge is lost. There's a lot of things that we do not know. So by going through some things, you would know that, oh, okay, so there are compliance that you need to follow. There are things that you need to know. There are legislative policy that you need to comply with. So there's a lot of things that is actually set up and actually written in this what's it called, license terms. So you then, if you're comfortable, you click OK. And I believe everyone should click OK, so I mean, accept. You accept it, then you click next. It takes you to another page. So this page is telling you what it's about to do. Okay, if you look at it, it says choose your destination. It automatically, what it does is it automatically, we call this in the cloud provisioning. So what it does is it's trying to see where you have that space. I mean, you chose C, so then you say, okay, at least I have this. This is the space. It will tell you what you have. So you will see. So, but let me, like I said before, if you do not want it to install on C drive, you can click browse. You click browse, then you have to indicate where it's supposed to install into. Then it takes you to that place. Then it performs the installation, and all the files will be actually saved there. So for my PC, I actually install on C drive, which is on this, and I'm gonna show you. I will show you. Okay, so next, once you click next, like I said to you, it says this is the space. I want you guys to please pay attention to this. Once you click install, look at the drive that is installing into. I'm going to open mine and you're going to see it. So then look at the space. Look at what it's saying. And if you look at the first one, which says Oracle Database 11G Express Edition, it says 631124K. And if you look at it, the space required is on C, is 631124. So you can actually see that, and you can see the information, you can see the information of what is about to do. Then you can actually click next. If you click next, what is saying, I want to install the database. Okay. I need a super user, which is like an admin. So anywhere you see sys and system in Oracle database, they are the admin. They are the most powerful users that you cannot joke with. Any administrator cannot forget sys or system password. They cannot. It is absolutely, you cannot forget it. If you are a DBA, or if you are working with your database, be it your local, be it your enterprise, you need to know, you need to remember your sys and system password. So now, because you are about to install Oracle database on your local machine, so you need to provide a password for this. And why is it doing this? And I don't want to go into that, because why is it doing this? It's going to create a schema. The schema that is going to create is going to load some metadata, some dictionaries. They call it dictionary. There are data that's supposed to be kept in there. So those data are actually used for a lot of things. One, for the maintenance of the database. Two, for diagnostic. Three, for performance, for a lot of things. for security and all that. So those metadata repository. So he creates them while he's doing the installation. You don't even know what he's doing at the background while he's doing that. Because at this point, once you put the password, it's going to create it. It's going to create the schema. So I do not want to say that for the purpose of, because this is just a laboratory class. So I do not want to. So it's going to create a schema, load those the metadata, those tables. It's going to load them into what's it called? Into the database. So this is how. Then you need to provide this. It is very essential. But once you do this, please make sure that you write it down. Please write it down. Do not forget it, because we're going to need it to create. Because these two users, they have the right. It is 3 users that can create another users. 6 can create another user, which is a schema. And I will tell you when we get there. I will explain that. System can create a DBA. If you have a DBA privilege, you can also create another schema. So for the purpose of this, please put in the password and please write it down. So then we'll move to this page. So this page is just telling you what it's about to do, because you've actually supplied the answers, those answers that he actually demanded, and those are the things that it's about to do. So it's telling you the destination where it's going to install, and again, you need to pay attention to that as well. So most especially the first one and the other one, which is the listener, the first one. So you'll be able to know where, because sometimes you remember now when you are doing your installation, if you don't pay attention, you won't know. Sometimes you say, oh, maybe it is on program files. Oh, maybe it is on this. Maybe it is on this. So you need to pay attention, not to struggle to identify the location where the database software is actually installed. So pay attention to destination file and pay attention to the listener. So it's very important. Sometimes you install, for the purpose of maybe Oracle Express is 1521. In some other instance, you need to pick your port by yourself. So, but this is the default one that actually comes with this software. So please pay attention to it. Then you click install. So it will actually be doing that, and it doesn't take much time. So I think less than 15 minutes it should be done, because it's very light, and that's why they say it is very light. So then this is to tell you that I've completed my job. My job is done. I've finished my installation. So you have Oracle on your PC. So if you want me, Mr. Okay, for the benefit of, maybe if you want me, before I go back to the slide again, if you want me to go into the system to also show you what I've done, I can actually do that.
Actually, for now, I think installation should be fine. The recording will also be available after the store.
Okay.
I will make the recording available. I will share the YouTube link so that people will be able to watch it and download it to their own personal stuff. But you can continue the lecture. Let's see how you can use it. Probably the next, anything the next, just go to continue.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Remember, I'm saying that okay. Let me go out of the slide. Let me just go to the file where I actually installed, so that you can actually see it.
That's fine.
Yes. Yeah. Then I'll come back to the slide.
Okay.
So if we see this, so let me just okay. Okay. So if you look at it, can you all see my screen? Hello?
Yeah, still on your slide.
Oh, okay. Let me reshare.
Yeah.
Just hold on. Let me stop sharing. Then I'll share again. Yes.
So you can share the entire screen.
Yes. I wanted to. I actually wanted to do that. Okay. share.
Okay.
Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's okay. We can see that.
Okay, thank you. So if you look at it from the slide, you see from the slide I said, it says it's going to install into sorry, this one is going to install into C. Yes, it says it's going to install into this. If you look at it, it says C on C drive, which is on Oracle ES. So if you look at it from you see this is my C, and this is where he actually installed my Oracle into. So you see, this is the app. So these are the files, you see. So these are for the admin, the diagnostic, the fast recovery area, which is for the review, and this is the other data, which is the data, data files and and the rest. And these are for the these are for the network, for the network, for all the things. So this is where he actually installed. But in your case, it might be a different scenario altogether. So yes. So the software, I actually put it here. You can actually put it anywhere. So what I downloaded into, like I said, from your window. If you check from your window, you can see something like this. Once you click download, it takes you to this. It takes you to this to this page. You actually download into your download. Then you can actually move it. You can actually move it from this download and move it to any of your drive. So for the purpose of, for me, I move it to D drive. I move it to D drive, then I install from here. So you can actually see it. This is the instruction, So I move it here and I install from here. So again, can you please unmute? Can you please mute your mic? Thank you. So I'm still gonna ask us to download this one. But I'm going to say this after the end of the session. But I just quickly want to digress. I just want to show you something quickly. So if you look at it, this is a third party, maybe a third party. You can say it's a third party application for you to be able to connect to the database. You remember now we've created a database. So, but then this is the third party to actually connect to it. So I've created, the database that I've actually created, I've created this one, which is for my local machine. So I'm going to right click and you're going to see from the TNS, because I couldn't go to that. So you're going to see, these are the TNS that I actually put in my slide. So the name of that database is called ES. So I said this is the system, this is the password. So if I actually connect, then I could be able to see anything on the drive. You see, so I can run my select statement. I can actually run my select statement from tab. So from tab. You see, so this is the way I'm going to send you a location. I mean, I'm going to send you location where you can download your software. Maybe either Toad, you can either use Toad, you can use SQL Developer, you can use any of you can even use SQL Plus to connect to the database. So these are the things. So let's go back to the slide. Okay. So if you see it from the SQL Developer, you need this file. This is the file where you put where the description of your database is. It tells you, see, most especially this one that says TNS name. It is very, very important. You want to connect to any of the databases, your TNS is very, very important. That is the description of your database. That's where you put your description. You actually use this file to connect to the database. for any third party. You use this to connect to the database. So if we look at it, if you see, remember I said the name of the database is ES. So this is the host name. It will give you the host name. Remember the port. Remember while it's doing the installation, it was showing the port to be 1521. So this is the port. It's very important as well. So when you install your third party software to connect to the database, all these parameters are very, very important. Remember, I was telling you before that the TCP. You see, this is where you see the definition. So now, if you want to connect to any of the database, you need to put their description inside this your TNS. Then it will be able to function properly. So this is the information that I lifted from here. I use it on that third party, which is on the SQL developer, to set up the connection to my local database. So you can see this is the connection. This is the testing, because I need to test if the database is actually working or not. You can see this is the system. So you see the connection name. You can give any name. I can call it Nigeria system. It's just an identification, which is the connection name. So that is not, it has nothing to do with your setup. So connection name can be anything. You can call it AB, you can call it anything. But your username, I'm using system. I can as well say sys and put the password. But if I say sys and the password, my role, I need to change the roles to sysdba. But I do not want to do that. Sys is fine. It's fine for us for now. So I put system and I put the password. The host name, you're going to see it from your TNS. You put the host name here. So again, this is the port. Remember, it is 1521. This is the port. The service name, you see your database name is your service name. Sorry. Your service, your database name. Sometimes your database could be your SID. So your SID, your database name, your service instance, your service instance or service name, they are more or less the same. So you leave this and you put it here, and I do test, and you click test, and you see that you'll be able to connect to your database. That shows the database that you install, it is up and it is running. Okay, so this is the end of the installation. So, and I'm going to move further. Remember, I said this session is about installation and introduction to SQL. So this with the installation, we'll be able to have the platform. We'll be able to have platform to practice, to run one or two practice of what we're probably going to learn. So SQL. What is SQL? So what is SQL? We all know. Even a lot of people who are not in the IT field, they know what SQL, is all about. So SQL, like I said, it just stands for structured. It is structured query language. Like I said, I'm going to make it very simple. I don't want us to go into complex definition. You see, I'm talking to you now. I'm using English to talk to you. A Japanese, let's say from South Africa. Okay, I'm going to use South Africa. A local person in South Africa that are maybe Zulu, they use Zulu language to talk to their brothers. Okay, so the language which database understand, the language that you can use to communicate with the database is called SQL. So this SQL is just a language by which you communicate with the database. You see, if we can understand that it is a mode, it is a language that you use if you want to communicate with the database. That is what they call structure, SQL. And you look, okay. The next line, the next line says, SQL lets you access to manipulate database, meaning you can use SQL to access your database, what you have in your database, the data that you have in your database. SQL will allow you, because remember it's a language. You put in the language. You send in a language. You send in message. It's just like a message. You send in a message to the database. It is just a message form. You send it to a database, then you can use it to access your database. You can use it to manipulate. Manipulation meaning to modify. Either to modify. Manipulation means a lot of things, to modify, you can insert into, most especially when it comes to SQL, you can use it to insert record, insert data into the database. You can use it to change the database, to change record, or to change data in the database. You can also use it to delete information from the database. Okay, so SQL we allow you to do so. You see, all this that I've mentioned, you will be able to do that with SQL. So to communicate with the database, you need to know SQL properly. So SQL became a standard of America, national standard, which is, like ISO. If you look at it, ISO, you see, ISO is a regulated body that standardizes a lot of policies. Policies, be it audit, be it anything, so they standardize this, they structure this, the language to ensure that most of the relational database, they conform to these policies. Okay, we do have other databases that are no SQL as well, but we have other SQL that are proper SQL. Those ones are relational DBMS, like Oracle, like your SQL Server, your DB2, which is DB2, which is IBM, So you need to know. Please pay attention to this. So it is actually regulated. So then I move further. What can you do? What can we do with SQL? You can do a lot. One, SQL can be used to execute queries against the database. You want to execute, you want to write command, you want to retrieve information from the database. Somebody asks you and say, can you please give me a report of how many employees in the organization? So it is a state, your manager can say, can you please give me information of how many employees you have in the database? You see, you won't go into the database and say, how many employees in English, in the word English, I say, how many employees do we have in the database? It will look at you and it won't respond to you. Imagine if I type that. But there are ways. That is why SQL is the language by which you can talk to that say, can you, there's a way you write it that it will respond to you. So you can use it to insert record into the database. So how do we get, okay, now remember that we've created the database, but how do we get information into the database? So we will be able to get information into the database by the use of SQL. Okay, so we can update information with the use of SQL. We can delete record with the use of SQL. We can create a new database with the help of SQL. We can create a new table with the help of SQL. We can create store procedure, functions, triggers, packages, so it is with the use of, SQL. So view, you can create views. You can create, I'm not going to say only view. You can create any of the database objects with the SQL, be it function, be it your view, your table, your sequence, your triggers, your synonyms. So you can actually use all those to actually create it. So it is a language where you need to pay attention to. If you do not pay attention to SQL, if you do not know SQL, there's no way you can manage database. There's no way. So you can use it to, you can set permissions on the tables. You can set permission on the table. You can set permission on the schema. You can set permission on procedure on all the objects. So you can actually use that SQL. Okay. So what is a database? So I want you to digress a bit. Remember the installation we did. The installation is just a platform. It is a platform where database reside. So now, what is the database itself? Database is like, I always tell people when they say database, I said, just separate them into two. Separate data and separate a base. Write data and just create a gap and put base. It means you can say just like military base. You see, home base. It means where someone reside, where things reside. So if you look at it, database is, I've separated it. So database, it means like database, meaning where data reside. It is very simple. They said database is organized collection of structured information or data or type, stored electronically in a computer system like server. So remember now that you install your Oracle database on your system. Now, when you create a database, automatically Oracle, during the installation, a database is actually created for you. So, but you're still going to put your data. So those data goes into the database. So you can actually, it's synonymous to home where data reside. Please, when you remember database, you should just remember that maybe remember this word, military base, home base, meaning it is a place where data reside. So we go further. So we talk about, I'm sure you must have heard about DBMS, database management system, So it is just a software. Database management system, it is exactly what we've done in the previous slide. Meaning, remember that we install Oracle, Oracle ES 11G. So the Oracle 11G is a database management system. It is a software. Remember, it's a software. We installed it. So it's management, it's a software for storing and retrieve user data. And again, you need to consider the measure, which is the security measure, meaning we're going to store our data into that database. It will enable us, because remember now that if you do not have that Express on your PC, you won't be able to store your data into it. But you see now we've installed, we have a third party that we can actually code, we can actually put we can create our users, create our schemas, create our tables, create our this. Then if we want to store, we can actually store in there. Inside the database. And again, it will make it is enable us to retrieve our information. So it helps us know the system is also available for us to to manipulate whatever you put in the system. So it is the same. The Oracle software, it is called Oracle database management system, which is DBMS. So DBMS allow users to create their own database as per their requirement, as per what you want to do. Remember now, like you said, we have associate professors, probably as a professor will probably want to have a database of a research, a lab, maybe a research lab. So it can actually come up, create a database for a research lab. For instance, I use my office, I use what's it called, Oracle EBS, from database and Oracle EBS. So I want to have payroll. We want to create database, payroll. We want to have the performance management, the HR core, finance. You talk about supply chain, supply chain, and all that. So most of these things. So with the help of the software, you will be able to do so many things. So what we will install the Oracle 11G is database management system. So, and if you look at it, most of the vendor, I call them vendor, okay, because what they do, they develop those applications. They develop those applications with their different syntax. So Oracle is different from Microsoft Server. Oracle is different from MySQL. Though Oracle bought MySQL, and it's free. It's free license for any organization that probably want to use MySQL. They can actually use it if it's a low, a small, medium, organization. You can actually use it. There's a lot of free databases that you can actually use that are free. That are actually free. So there are vendors like Oracle. You can actually get like Oracle. I remember that we got that the the installation software from that Oracle website. So we have Microsoft. You have Microsoft Server as well. They have their own database. IBM has got their own database as well. It's called DB2. The DB base they've got. Netezza is for a big data. They have their own software as well. Netezza, Oracle Go, Netezza, what's it called? There's a lot of them. So these are the vendor where you can actually get the database. So we move to RDBMS. You see, sometimes if you look at it, if you remove, let's say for instance, look at RGBMS, remove the R in, R, you see, it's more or less like what we're talking about. But what makes this one different is it's talking about related information. And for me, if you ask me, I do not see difference between the two. Fine, it's a system, it's a software, which is the database management, but you cannot put information that are not related into database. So definitely, if you have created a database, it has to be, you are going to create a database with related information. So this one is saying RDBMS means it stands for Relational Database Management System. Okay, I'm related to you. You are related to me. I want to keep our information together. Like a student in university. When you talk about student university, you talk about maybe student information. You talk about the courses. You talk about even the lecturers as well. So you keep all this information together, because if you look at it, a student will attend a lecture. So it will attend the lecture. You need to, maybe lecture room as well. It's going to be like a table. So I say, okay, where am I attending? Where maybe Faculty of Science. Oh, maybe okay. I'm having math 201. So I'm going to Faculty of Science. So most of this information, the related information, I actually kept. So this allows you to keep related information. You see, to keep related employee. You talk about employee as information. There's country. It comes from a particular country or it comes from a particular state. You see that when you mention that, okay, maybe Babatunde is actually from Ogun State. Okay, Babatunde, my information is also I'm more related to connected to a state. Then Babatunde is now connected to a country. You see, Babatunde information, I'm male, this is my age, this is my date of birth, and the state is also its own table. Which state, because every state has got their own code and their description to say, okay, Babatunde is from maybe Lagos State, or from state from Ebonyi State, from this. So it is actually linked to the information. And again, where are they from? Where is this state from? It's actually linked to Nigeria, the country called Nigeria. So most you keep related information into the database. So relational database is database that is okay. That is relational database is a type of database that can store and process access to the data that are related to one another. So related. Relational database management system, which is DBMS in short, manages relational. See, it's in a very simple English. It manages relational. Relational data. We have siblings, we have brothers. You say, okay, I'm related to George. Meaning we have elements of commonality. So meaning if you are designing, and this is where your logic has to come into place. So when you are designing your database, you need to bring things that are related together. You pack them, you put them separately. So things that are not related, you probably create another database for, get their own family as well. They are related information together. So anytime you want to do something, just ensure that in your mindset, when you visualize things, you want to bring information together. So, and I like this one as well. So I like this one that says, I got this one from Wikipedia that says it's an extension of the acronym that is sometimes used when the underlying database is related, meaning just like what I was saying, they are related, related information. Again, we need to talk about the data in DBMS. It is stored in the database object called. You see, we have a database. We have a database. We have a space, which is called database. So, but where the data, those data, they are not just, you can't just drop them. You can't just drop them, anywhere. So you have a space. You need to create a particular place where, it's called a table. Data resides inside a table. So where you keep those information into, a data inside the table and a table inside the database. Okay. So, but then there's another one is when you put a data into a table, that table will reside inside a schema, and that schema reside inside the database. So we'll probably get to that. So I just want you to know at this stage that data are actually stored in a table and they eventually reside on the database. So, but how do we then save the data? How do we put the data into table? You see, it has formation. A table is a collection of related data entries, and it consists of columns and row. We all work with spreadsheet. If you look at the spreadsheet, we see you have a column, you have columns, and you have columns and you have rows. So that is if you can actually picture that, that's the way table in the database. That's the way they look like. So why am I saying this? I do not want you to. There's a lot of books that you read on the internet. A lot of people, a lot of database do not even know how those objects they look like. And I keep telling people, when you don't know how they look like, you won't know their full function, and you won't know how to apply them at different contexts. Because a lot of people, sometimes I see a DBA will say they are senior DBA. I've seen a lot of white that say they are senior DBA. They don't even know the difference between a bitmap index and another index. And I always tell them, I say, hey, you need to know this is different between the two. So for me, it's a key for you to be able to visualize things. Anytime you are seeing things, if you don't really understand, make sure you do your research properly to know how this thing are solved. So please, when you see a table, remember your spreadsheet. You see, you put your information on your spreadsheet and you put information in it. So we move further. So DBMS database, I created a sample. You have inside a database, you have two tables. Okay. Those two tables, you see, table A is related to table B. You see the link. So if you are looking for information, you see now that the table, the DBMS that you've created, they have what's it called, related information. I mean, related data. Those data are inside the database. They are inside the database. So they are inside the database. So they are related. So you group them, you put them together. So this is what the relational database is all about. Information that you have, they have a link to one another. So this is, so we go further. Remember, I was saying something like, how do you visualize table? How do you see table? Okay. Table keeps information. It keeps your data. It keeps your record. It keeps your entry. You see, so this is the table. Let me see. This is the example. This example. If you look at this column, if you look at this picture, you see these columns and the rows. And if you look at it, they look like our spreadsheets, which are Microsoft Excel. So you see all this. This is the employee. You see the information, employee ID. Employee name, the country. So you can see these are the record. Oh, employee name. Oh, maybe my number is number 1. My name is Babatunde. Which country? I'm from England. You see, so these are when you put in those information, like when you remember the spreadsheet, you remember a table. So there are commands. Remember now, we said the way you communicate with your database is through your SQL. You see, this create table called employee. Okay, and it says employee ID. You remember the first column, it says employee ID, which is called version 2. We're still going to go to that in the next session. So it says these are the space that you need to provide. These are the holders, the variables, these are the holders, meaning the employee ID. Please provide me with this 20 within length of 25. You see, so when you have your number, it can also be your maybe your social security number, your ID, like we have ID here. So you need to know, okay, how many, let's say matric number. I still remember my matric number in University of Lagos. So your matric number, you need to have, it's maybe, maybe it is about maybe a length of 20 or length of 18. So you are telling, you are instructing. You see now, you are communicating to the database and say, can you please create me a table? And the table name is employee. Okay. And I want to capture employee ID. And please provide me with the length of this, which is 25. And version 2, we determine, you see the version 2, we determine the alphabet, whether it is alphanumeric. If it is alphanumeric, maybe you have maybe Q 1 2 3, or maybe A B C 1 2 3. So you can actually capture it in there. You see, but please make it a primary key, meaning make it unique. Make it unique, meaning that if Babatunde is using number 1, no one can actually use number 1. So anyone that wants to come after me will use number 2. So, and if you try to force things to say number 1, Oracle will say primary key violated. So I'm just interpreting to tell you what SQL is about. So it's saying, create me employee ID version 2, meaning I want it to be able to take alphanumeric. You see, with a length of 25, okay, and make it non-repeating, and unique. Okay. The second one says, I want to create employee name with version 2 with length of 100. You see, maybe my name, you can put Babatunde, or maybe you can put a surname, maybe you can put Alamasia or something. You put it, so the name or the country. Then I want to create a column called country with a length of 20. And you send that information. You see now, I interpreted what this command is saying in pure English. And this is the way instruction will be given to you and say, oh, okay, can you please, I want to design I want to design a database. I want to design, I want to capture an information. And that information, I need maybe employee, maybe I need the house number, I need this number, I need this. So in order to do that, anyone that is giving you that instruction is giving you in English, but you cannot write on SQL, on the database, you cannot write that English, the same English, that literation. You say, my name is Baba, create me, right? You just say, create me, what's it called, employee. So the mode at which you can actually communicate, it is this by command, by SDS SQL. So once you do this, then you can actually save. Once you type it will create it for you. Then you can insert. You see now, an empty table is created. You have an empty table that is created. With this command, empty table is created. It is empty. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any content. So it is an SQL statement also you will use to insert those records, to put in those records. You see, to put in those records to say, insert, the people will say, okay, I have this information. Can you process it? What most of the data capturer, yes. Most of the data capturer, this is what they do. They give them a spreadsheet and say, can you please capture it into the database? So they capture it into a form. Maybe they provide them with a form. Those forms will go into those tables and save. You see, then there's a command for inserting. We will learn that maybe as we progress. So this is the table. I just want you to know that data is kept inside the table. Okay, it is actually kept inside the table. Any data that you see, you go to a shop, they scan you, they use the barcodes to scan you, it goes into a particular table on the database. You go to ShopRite, they use the scanner, they scan your, they scan your barcode, it goes into the database. It goes into the database. How does it get into the database? It goes to the particular, because there's an interface that have been designed. Those design interface has actually linked to a particular table. So once they scan those products, they scan, and how many do you buy? You buy, you are buying coffee, you buy this, they scan your product. It goes into a table, into the database.
So thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde.
So this is the last slide.
Okay.
This is the last slide. So before you do that, so let me just finish this. So this is the last slide. So this last slide says schema.
No, sorry, before the last slide, there is a question. Okay. Before you leave that place.
Okay.
Somebody asked a question, said, does SQL accept image data, or can we include image picture in the employee table? So I want you to answer that before.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. We call something club and blob. Okay. There's a data type. You see, under the data type, and that's why I'm saying that is a discussion. It is a discussion that we need to have, during the course of, this, it might not be from this session, maybe the next session. So there are data type, like maybe numbers, meaning if you create a variable, if you create, like maybe employee ID, if you use number, meaning strictly is going to allow you to put in numbers. So if we create VASHA, it can allow number, it can allow alphabet, it can allow both when it's VASHA. So when you want to store your picture, your videos, your picture, your video, you either use your blob or your club as a data type. It does that. It can actually keep your information, which is correct. Have I answered your question?
I guess Mr. or Dr. Ajiboye is also listening. So while we plan, while we are you're rounding up, please, if you have any question, quickly do drop it in the chat so that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, for this question, I'm gonna tell you what this experience with this, with the question that just been raised. On EBS, Oracle EBS suite, we do have columns. We do have a column like this where they capture invoices. Okay, they scan the invoices and they scan them directly into the embeds. So what happened? What we find out that the space, you can actually, if you cannot compare the space that a pictures and video will consume compared to numbers. Pictures, video, they consume a lot of space. So now those things begin to occupy more space. That it actually led to performance problems. So the server was actually slow. So then we had to change to the fact that, okay, you can put a link, then you can store. There's another database that have been created for, for the pictures and for the files. So you don't need to put a file. So you put a file on that server, then you create the link and you put it on Oracle. So you can capture your video, you can capture your pictures, but your data type, you need to check it. Your data type has to be club or a blob. So the last slide. Sorry, this is the last slide. So we're talking about schema. What is schema? You see, I was actually coming from the fact that, okay, fine. Let's assume we already installed Oracle database. We're fine with that. The next thing is to create a database. Okay. Once you create a database, yes, you can create tables onto that database because there's a default database that will be created when you install Oracle. Be it standard, be it enterprise, and be it express. There's a standard default database that have been created. But in other words, you need to create your schema. The schema is a logical container, and I'm going to explain this properly. And I want you to get clarity today. This is so confusing for people. People do not understand this. And I've seen developers not understanding the difference between a schema and a user. So please pay attention to this. A schema is a logical container for a database object. Okay. And you can see, if you look at it below, if you look at from the diagram, let's say for instance, you want to capture, you need, yes, let me make this as an example. You see, NEPA, Nigeria NEPA. I know they provoke a lot of people from Nigeria, a lot of people in Nigeria. We all know that. So let's create a database called NEPA. Okay, we created a database NEPA. You see, NEPA has got generation, distribution. So you see those products, generation, there are sets of information, there are set of models, there are set of things that's been done by generation. When it comes to distribution, they do different things as well. So they can create a schema is a logical way of grouping things together to say, okay, I'm grouping generation under database of NEPA. Now I'm creating a schema called generation. Inside that generation, it is all the information of generation, how they generate electricity, how they how many generation, how many electricity generated, how the apparatus and the equipment and all that. So the engineers and so hours and everything it will be inside the schema called generation. So another schema would be distribution. So who are the vendors that distribute electricity in Nigeria? Maybe that will capture information. So a schema is what I'm going to create a schema for you for the purpose of this training. So most of the demo data, we're going to dump them. We will do that exercise together. I'll prepare that in the next session where we create a schema. So database, you put database at the top, you put a schema. You can also call a schema a user because it's going to have a username. Then you are going to have the password for it. So you have a room. You've created that room where you want to put things. You see, so those tables reside inside a schema. So you can see now, they said database. The database called, if you look in our case, our database is ES. Remember the ES. So our database is called ES. You can give any names to your database when you are creating it, because this one is enterprise. This one is express. It doesn't allow us to give our own name. So by default, it actually came with his own name. But with enterprise, you will be able to, it will afford you to be able to give your name. You can call it Nigeria, you can call your database anything. So with this one, the one we have, which we've installed, we can actually use is ES. But for the for this, the picture that you're looking at is called ORCL. And the ORCL is also a database, a default database, and what's it called in Oracle. So the database is called this. So inside that database, you have a section, that schema. So in this schema, they created, like a partition. It's a logical partitioning. A logical partitioning where you have related informations are there. You understand? So imagine now what I've explained. NEPA is a database, but distribution is a section. Generation, they have their own section. You cannot just dump data information straight into the database, NEPA database. You need to be able to logically identify them. To say, okay, these are for, these are operation done by the generation. These are the operation done by the distribution, companies and all that. So it is a way of separating their logical partitioning of the database. So thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I think there are several questions that are waiting. We can continue in our next class. I know we can't finish today.
Yes. I think this is the last slide.
Yeah, because we all agree that we don't want to exceed our 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Please, sir, kindly just round up. We can continue from where you stop.
Okay.
Next class.
Thank you. So this is the last slide. So for the purpose of this training, thank you all. For the purpose of this training, we've actually learned what how we can install our database. We learned how to we've actually learned different database software. We know what database is all about. We know what a table is all about, and we know what a data is, and how do we store that our data. So most of the our daily engagement, if we look at it, we deal with data. We deal with the data in any case, and if you actually pay attention to it. So these are the process by which we save our data. And the software is just a platform for us to be able to practice a lot of things. And if you have installed your database, do not mind if you want to create, if you see any of the PDF, you want to create a dummy schema, you can actually go ahead. It's fine. But for the purpose of this training, I'm going to create a dummy one, and I'm going to share it so that you can also create it on your PC. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde. There's a question here before we take the feedback. There's a question here, say the number. Okay, before then, can you see the question in the chat, please, Mr. Babatunde?
Maybe I need to go down.
Okay, just go down. Okay, saying that we have the number, the virtual, and block. What are they? What are they called?
What are they called?
Yeah,
in SQL.
In SQL.
Okay. So numbers is called number.
Okay.
It's called number. Virtual is, you have virtual 2. You have virtual. So blocks, we don't usually have blocks. We don't have blocks, but the memory, because the memory of Oracle database, they reside on the RAM. So when you store your information in the table, you also store them in the block. So we don't, the data type block, we don't have it. So there's number, there's virtual, there's block, there's a blob. So those are the database. There's a lot of it until you have different data type that you can actually find. So, but we don't have a data type called block.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. To be sure that we are all here and we gain one or two things, can you just put it in a chat what you've learned today? Please just put it in a chat. I don't want to call the name before we tell us the next thing to do and the next steps. Let us know what you gained today. Is it installation? Is it on the data type? Is it on downloading and installing? Okay, I can see Ibrahim is talking about that. What again have you learned today? And your feedback matters. Let us have the feedback so that we can see where to work on and some other things to do. Only one person learned something today. Others, are we sleeping or we are okay? Introduction. Thank you, Prof. And who again is telling us only 2. We are still waiting. Installation. Thank you so much. Yes, let's thank our facilitator today, person of Mr. Babatunde, all the way from South Africa. Let's thank him. Let's just appreciate him on the chat. Yes, thank you so much. I learned so much of the training. Yes, okay, thank you. Yes, on the database. So please, if you have problem on the installation, please let us know. And we will also share, Mr. Ogusoya, can you please share the link of WhatsApp on the chats? Just go to the admin or you make me one of the admin on the, so that we need to share the link so that people can have access to join the WhatsApp. Ecom, you can share the link on the chat. Let's have the WhatsApp link so that people can click. For those of us that are not part of it and not on the WhatsApp platform can also join. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I